What's going on, YouTube? I know it's been a while since I uploaded a video. I've been going through some physical therapy and stuff like that for my shoulder. I blew it out at work. Update on the G35. I haven't done any conversion stuff to it lately. Like I said, I've been going through physical therapy and kind of running low on budget money right now. But we did get the harness bar installed. As you can see, that's all installed, and I have my driver's side harnesses installed. Just some G-force harnesses, not too shabby. They are 5-point. I gotta go back through and install the anti-submarine part of the harness, but we can hook this up here and show you that I've got it as a 4-point right now. It just snaps in, everything's good. Cam lock, it's all installed. Cam lock, just kick it and it all unhatches. It's not too bad. We're gonna install the passenger side harness today and get some work done to it. Other than that, things to come. We're gonna get the rest of the JDM badges, the Nissan badge for the back, the Nissan badge for the front. I'm still up in the air on whether or not I want to put Skyline across the back and the 350 GT on the back just yet. Coming this winter, the car will be getting wrapped by Illicit Designs out in Charlotte. I don't want to give anything away on that right now. I have sort of an idea of what he wants to do, but we're going to keep that as a surprise, so look forward to that video. Other than that, just minor stuff for now. I've gone to another Cars and Coffee and a Carolina Z Club drive. Got a good bit of attention at Cars and Coffee out in Greenville this past weekend. It wasn't too bad, but when you're sitting next to a couple GTRs and a fully wrapped 370Z that look immaculate, a little bit more attention went to them than it did to me, and I'm not upset about it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the GTRs were phenomenal. And Chris from Illicit Designs wrapped the 370. It's his own 370. He also wrapped one of the GTRs, and it was really good for Chris to be out there. I mean, he gave out a lot of business cards to get a lot of business, and I'm looking forward to what he's got in store for my G this winter. Other than that, let's get to installing this passenger side harness, possibly even the anti-submarine belts on both sides. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to put those in yet because I still don't have my racing seats, so the anti-submarine belts has to come up over the lip of the seat, and it won't function properly with it having to come over the lip of the seat instead of through a port in the middle of the seat like it's supposed to. So I'll probably just end up waiting until I can get my actual racing seats installed, and then I'll install the anti-submarine belts as well as the quick release fire extinguisher. I have all the brackets and stuff for the fire extinguisher and all the brackets for the seats. I just have to wait for my custom seats to be finished. Those will probably be installed about the same time the car's getting wrapped. I'll probably spend some time out at Illicit Designs doing some interior stuff while the parts of the car are being wrapped. Other than that, I guess let's get to installing these harnesses. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the car on and put some music on for me because it gets kind of boring out here. Alright guys, let's get to it. Here we got the door side lap belt. I have to install the adjuster and the bracket so it'll bolt into the floor down here. Real simple. take your belt. This obviously goes up into the seat, so you'll set that up into the seat, and you'll take the slack from the lap belt just so you can see which way it has to go. Feed this through. Slide it back. And then same thing with the bracket. Your bracket's going to sit down here, just like this, up against the sidewall of the car. So, with your lap belt sitting where it's supposed to, you'll set this here, and you'll look at it and go, okay, so it's got to come in from this side, down, and then you take the slack, run it back up through the adjuster, get it relatively close because I'm not going to need that much slack on the actual lap belt because there's a good bit of adjustment still left on it. So once you have it this far, run it back through here, and from there you can adjust it a little bit, and then after you've got it all the way pulled through, to lock it in place, you'll come over this lip here and tuck it right back through the other side and pull it tight. And what that does is it locks your harness in place so it won't pull, or it won't readjust itself while it's locked into the car. And then same thing, you can take the extra and roll it up and zip tie it like some people do. I'm not in a big rush right now. I'll probably do it later to clean it up. But in that case, all you do is you take it, you take the end of it, and you just roll it up nice and neat. Back to the bracket, and then once it's back to the bracket, you run a zip tie through the center of it to the bracket and zip tie it in place. But like I said, I'm in no real rush right now, and I can do a lot of that stuff later. I mean, I've got it rolled up here, and it'll be tucked against the sidewall of the car, so it'll kind of hold it in place anyways, so it's really not that big of a deal. So we're going to take our 14mm socket, extension, and ratchet, and we're going to break this bolt loose right here on the sidewall. Turn you down a little bit so you can see here. It's just a 14mm bolt right here. You got the factory seat belt. I'm going to leave the factory seat belts in the car for right now because I have to take the harness bar out to pull off this panel in order to actually remove the retraction for the factory seat belt. So for right now, I'm just going to leave it in the car for right now and get it at a later date. But we just take this, break this bolt loose. Oops. Try not to kick your ratchet back into tighten. Reach down here. And just unloosen it real good. Get it to pop out. I may have to hit it again with the ratchet. Okay, now once you have it loose, take a good look. At the bottom here, there's a little wing nut that keeps everything in place on this bolt. This little space keeper holds your crush washer and your spacer for your factory seat belt. You will need those. So you slide the bolt out of the factory seat belt. I'm gonna have to do something about that wire because it's for the factory. It sends your switch off to let you know somebody's in the seat. Or that's the airbag sensor for the passenger seat, I'm sorry. When you attach the seat belt, it pulls up on this little switch here and it activates the passenger side airbag. So I'm gonna have to disconnect my battery and deal with that at a later date. Like I said, I'm just going to leave everything installed for right now. I'm not going to mess around with it too much because I don't want to set my factory airbag off, because that'll just be a pain in the ass. So how it goes is you got your bolt. Remember which way you're going to set your bracket in. Bracket's going to sit like this, so bolt's going to go in from this side. Spacer, crush washer, and then this little thing that holds everything in place. And that's how it sits. And you just move your stuff out of the way. Set this back down in here. A little bit more slack on this real quick. Make sure your bracket's pointed up. Then ratchet it back into place. You're gonna have to hold the bracket because it's gonna want to spin. I mean, you kind of want to keep it angled toward the front. So just keep some pressure on the bracket while you tighten it down. There, that's as tight as she's gonna get. I keep mine angled a little bit to the front just to keep it. A lot of people keep them straight up and down. I like to keep mine angled to the front because that's the direction the actual harness goes, is up into the seat. So just food for thought. I mean, you can do it however you want. I keep mine angled to the front. It's not that big of a deal, but it helps. It's less adjustment in the long run, and it keeps it from pulling the bracket around and loosening that nut up if you have it stationed front already. Okay, so after that's installed, I'll grab my cam lock, which would be the left side part of the lap belt. Some people run the cam locks off the door side. I prefer to run mine from the inside of the car toward the door instead of from the door toward the inside of the car. It's all personal preference. It really doesn't matter. All your locks will pop into any of these, so it's all personal preference. Because as you can see, here's the cam. It turns. This one will actually end up being upside down, but I mean, like I said, I don't have too many passengers in this car anyways, but I just prefer to have the cam lock on the inside of the car on my left. When I'm in the passenger seat, I prefer to have the cam lock on the left. When I'm in the driver's seat, I prefer to have the cam lock on the right, just so I'm not, when I go to take it off, I don't flip it out and like mess up my door sill or hit the side skirt or something like that and leave a big ass dent. So yes, this one will sit upside down. I mean, I can take it apart and flip it around. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's just this front cap. It'll sit upside down for right now, and then later on I'll just go through and take these screws out and flip the front cap the other way, so it'll be right side up. But it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead. On this one, we have to use a smaller bracket, only because where I have to put it is on the seat rail. I can mount it to where the factory seatbelt lock location is, but that requires me to take my seats out, and I'm really not in the mood to do that right now. Okay guys, I ended up doing what I said I wasn't gonna do, and I switched the sides. I put the cam lock on the inside and the regular strap on the outside. As you can see, the smaller bracket, you just fold the seatbelt up and tuck it through it, lock it in place with the bracket, with the slider bracket, and everything comes through out front and looks like this. Just locks into place. Like I said, I switch sides. I put this toward the door instead of toward the shifter. But that's the lap belts installed so far. Now all we got to do is get the harness, the shoulder harnesses installed. So we'll move the seat back forward. Grab these bad boys here. And same thing with these as before. Using 2 wide flat brackets for the shoulder straps, just like I did on the driver's side. As you can see, it's a flat bracket. I gotta roll up the excess and put it back so it's out of the way. But we're gonna do the same thing. Same thing here. There's a mounting location here for a shoulder strap, mounting location here for a shoulder strap, and these 2 extras here are for the mid support bars for the actual harness bar itself. I have to custom make those because this harness bar isn't designed for a G35. This harness bar was actually taken out of a C7 Corvette. I mean, here's the bracket for it that bolts into the seatbelt location. I mean, everything's good. I had to add a spacer in here. I have to get another spacer for the top bolts, but it is what it is. It was better than getting like one of the universal harness bars because it's the right width. It's just it needs a little bit of tweaking. So I'm gonna go ahead and rifle through these shoulder straps, and I'll cut you back on when they're done. Alright guys, I got everything set up here to go ahead and install these. You'll notice that instead of installing the flat bracket on top of the harness bar, I'm going to be mounting them below the harness bar. And that's just so, like, for track days and stuff like that, your harnesses have to be a certain degree below the shoulder of the seat, or below where it comes across the seat. It's got to be anywhere between 5 and 20 degrees. So if I put it down here, it puts me right at about 7 degrees from where the shoulder, where it crosses the seat. Whereas if I put it up here, it puts me at like just about 4.5 degrees, which isn't enough. So if I bring it down here, I can use the harnesses for track days. So we're gonna go ahead, drop a bolt in here, washer, flat bracket, put the nut on there, and then these, instead of being a 14, these bolts are a 16, so pop them 14 off. Well, actually, I could take the extension off too. Take the extension off, 16 millimeter, and a 16 millimeter wrench. And all I do is I hold the 16 millimeter wrench up against the harness, or up against the bar itself, and use the ratchet on the bottom until it starts to snug up on the bottom wide bracket. And once it starts to snug up on that, I'll actually hold the bracket in place so it sits straight. I'm actually going to flip this around so I don't have to hold on to it that much. And we just crank this bad boy into place. Okay, that's snug on that bracket now. And we'll torque everything down. I do have a torque wrench, I just don't know where it's at the current moment. You're supposed to torque these down to like 55 pounds. So I'll just make it tight for now. And then take my 16, because I tweaked the bracket a little bit, and just turn it just ever so slightly, trying not to break it loose, and straighten that bottom bracket out. And then you just repeat everything on the other side. Got your bolt, 2 washers. So bolt and washer go through the top, flat bracket, washer, flat bracket, get your nut on there kind of snug. Put your wrench on there. And torque it down till the bracket gets snug. Okay, bracket's snug, but I still have enough to where I can turn it. Take your wrench, put it up against the harness bar so you ain't got to torque too hard. Grab here, torque that bad boy down tight, and then just take your wrench and ever so slightly turn it, because the nut and everything on the bottom will turn with it. And there we go. It's not as straight. There we go. There. 2 flat brackets installed. Now we just take the seat, lay the seat back, and measure the harnesses out accordingly. I'll get back to you when it's done. Alright guys, so everything's installed. Lap belt's secure, shoulder harnesses are secure. Just show you a quick setup on how to adjust it once you get everything in. Once you have everything in, I made the length of mine based on how far forward the seat can go with the seat back straight up. So if somebody's in the back seat, the seat can be moved forward. Yes, I know it's weird to say somebody will be in my back seat with a shoulder harness, well, with a harness bar back there, but I've tried it out. You can get in my back seat. It just gives you a nice oh shit handle to hang on to while you're back there. So when I measured out how long to make the shoulder straps, I pushed the seat all the way forward, had the back set, and then just went from there and adjusted the length of them. But when you're sitting in the front seat, you take and you're trying to make your harness adjustable to you, the little tabs here, hold the string, feed a little bit through till it's snug, and pull. And then once you have enough there to pull, you can actually just double hand pull down on it and it'll pull straight through. Same on this side. Feed a little bit through till it's a little snug. Pull down. Then once everything's there, grab it, pull nice and hard, and you're secured. Same thing with the lap belts. Feed a little through, pull it snug. You want to adjust your lap belts first, just to keep the cam lock from sliding up your stomach when you go to adjust these. I didn't in this case because I was just showing a quick how to lock everything in place. And then same thing to untighten it. Your lap belt will be tight, so you just grab here and pull up. My lap belt's not tight, so it's not going to do it right now. But you just pull up on this black tab here, lift straight up with it, and when you lift straight up with it, it'll pull all the excess back through, and it'll loosen up your shoulder straps. That'll be it for today. It's about 110 degrees in this car, but I got passenger side harnesses installed, driver side harness installed, and that's it for today, guys. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more stuff to come with the G35, random cars and coffee meets. I might be doing Z Nationals this year, so look for a video on that. Thanks for watching.